Ed Lowe was one of the first reporters to cover me. And we had a really good relationship. Did not mean that he didn't zing me once in a while, but he was usually right. He was a clever writer, and he knew the town. You don't seem to have reporters like that anymore. They don't really know this town. They don't really look into things. It's press releases.
Right.
We also had Les Payne. I don't know if people remember him. He became an editor at Newsday. Mm-hmm. He was an African-American reporter. He was very, very tough, and smart. And he was very concerned about our communities, particularly North Amityville and Wyandanch, which had severe problems. And so he would look into things. He didn't just accept a nice little press release. Everything's happy when it wasn't. Mm-hmm. And I really liked him because I thought he was so smart. And, you know, he taught me a lot. He was a very good reporter. There were a couple of columnists. There was a very conservative columnist, whose name I'm forgetting. He unfortunately passed away. And he hated everybody. And he called me up for lunch. He was a conservative. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to meet with this guy. He's going to hate me. I'm everything he doesn't like. So I met him for lunch. In those days, Newsdays, reporters would take you to lunch. And we're sitting in the restaurant, and I'm looking at this guy, and I'm thinking, I don't even know how to talk to him. What am I going to say? He's not going to like anything I do. And I knew he didn't, because he had written some other things. So I finally fell back on the old cliche. Where are you from? So he said, I'm from Queens. I said, Queens, really? I'm from Queens. Where are you from Queens? Well, he lived not 10 blocks away from me. So I said, you're kidding me. Oh my gosh. So we started in reminiscing about the old neighborhood and the high schools and everything you could think of. And he said to me, you lived on 119th Avenue? I said, yes. He said, didn't that neighborhood change? Keyword, right, change? We know what that means, don't we? So I said, oh yeah, sure. So he said, well, didn't you hate it? I said, no, not really. Why? We were fine. And we got into an entire racial discussion. And he couldn't believe that I wasn't prejudiced. And it's a very difficult subject to talk about, and people don't do it anymore, really, except Obama when he gave his speech on race. It was the first time. We had the most fascinating conversation. And he wrote one of the best columns about me that I've ever read. And how that I came from a neighborhood where people were in turmoil and things were changing. And that he felt I was human. And it was a really, really lovely thing. So one of the things I've discovered is, if you really talk to people sometimes, you can reach them. Not everybody. You can't a mass group, but you can individually.